Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a beacon pyramid, and just in case the time on the video didn't tip you off, this is going to be a really long build, and it's going to be incredibly tedious. It's not going to be too much fun to make at all, but definitely worth it in the end once it's all done. Also, if you have any more building related needs, feel free to not only check out the description below, which I'll be leaving links to all of my tutorial playlists, but also feel free to check out the card system. As a matter of fact, I recommend checking out the card system to check out more builds like this. I'll be leaving some playlists and some videos that I think that you guys will really want to check out. Give it a chance. Moving on, if you want to make the actual beacon pyramid, here's what you're going to need. You'll need some obsidian, then grab yourself some block of diamond, then grab some cyan wool, grab white wool, grab regular glass block, and finally guys, grab yourself some white stained glass. And once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your beacon pyramid with a row of 80 cyan wool in a row on the floor. That's right guys, that is 8080, or you can do it how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 5 rows of 16 just because it's easier to count that way. So 80. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and then I'm going to do this 4 more times. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Once more, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And that will be a row of 80. 5 times 16, those of you that aren't very good at math, don't worry, I'm not either, that's a row of 80. Now, once we've done this, we then want to take a sideways view to what we've just made, so our row of 80, so this last block, and we want to go right of this by 79. But I'm going to do the same thing again. So first of all, I'm going to count to 16 again, but I'm going to start at 2 because we already have the first block, and then I'm going to do the same thing that we've already done once before. So we want to go right of this by, in total, 79. So that'll be 1 that we already have, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 3 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And what we now want to do is just take a sideways view to the row that we've just made, and we want to go right of this until it basically just matches up with the row that we made earlier. So can you remember that long row of 80, the first row of 80 that we've made? Well, what we want to do is take this row, and we just want to keep dragging it to the right, and we just want to keep looking back at what we've made, and eventually it should line up with where we first started. So what we're doing here is we're hoping that that very first row is correct, and I think it is because we were very careful in making it. And what we then want to do is just connect that row of 80 to the back row of 80 that we've just formed. So I'm going to take that very first block that we placed, and I'm going to drag it backwards, and in doing this I'll have made a big giant cyan square. So it wants to end up looking, and this does take a while because remember we're dealing with 4 very long rows guys, it wants to end up looking a little something like this, and that's perfect. So we want to end up with a big giant square 80 by 80 cyan on the floor. Now, once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. So pick a side, any side. It really doesn't matter which one you start on. Trust me, it doesn't. Each one of the sides are identical. So I'm going to be starting at what could be the front of my pyramid, although each one of the 4 sides are identical. So starting from the corner block of whatever side you're on, you want to go up on top of that corner by 15. So that's 1, 5, 15. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. You then want to drag that 15th block all the way over to the opposite side of your beacon pyramid. It will take a while to do because you have to place 79 blocks going in the direction that you want to go. You don't have to count these out, don't bother counting them out, just drag it all the way over until it is roughly equal with the opposite side, then raise up that side until it is equal with the row that you've been dragging over, and you will end up with a rectangular shape like this. Once you've got this, we now want to split this into each one of the individual diamond blocks. So starting from the bottom left hand corner of the side that we're on, which is this one right here, on top of this row of cyan going right, we want to do this. We want to do a row of 14 block of diamond and then 2 cyan wool. I'll explain why later. 14 block of diamond, 2 cyan wool. So it'll look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 cyan. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 cyan. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 cyan. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that 14th block should just connect all the way over to the opposite side, and it should just leave you with something that should look like this. Why are there 2 cyan blocks next to each other? Well, the reason's obvious. It's because the diamond blocks are stacked next to each other, and the edges of the diamond are obviously cyan. So if you look at 2 diamond blocks next to each other, you have the 2 rows of cyan. I know it looks a little bit weird, to me, but that's how they stack together. So, once you've done this once, we actually have to do this 3 more times. So you can see all the way around the pyramid, we now want to do that 3 more times. But one of the harder bits, which is counting out like the row of 15 and then dragging it across, that's already done for us. So what we want to do is we just want to build the base of the pyramid. So we're now just dragging the top 2 corners, essentially. You see the top 2 corners of the top of the diamond block, the base of the diamond block. We're dragging these backwards, and we're just going to form a nice big 3D shape before we start like adding in each one of the individual diamond blocks to the ground floor of the pyramid. If you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I've already shown you guys how it's going to go, like once on the front of the pyramid. Once we've actually formed the nice big 3D shape of the pyramid, we're then going to do that 3 more times, is essentially what I'm telling you guys. So we're just forming the shape of the pyramid, and I have nothing really to do other than keep repeating that because there's nothing else to talk about, unfortunately. It's a very, very simple process, the beacon pyramid. It's extremely easy to make. There's nothing difficult about it whatsoever unless you class the beacon as hard, but actually the beacon's really, really easy to make by itself as well. The only difficult part is the fact that it takes a long time. So you can see that we now have a big giant shape like this. We have a nice big giant shape. What we're now going to do, like I said, what we've already done once, which is this, we're separating the diamond blocks. We're going to do this 3 more times. So I'm going to start going on the right hand side, and we're going to just keep going all the way around to the right. So remember this pattern, guys, and it doesn't change. 14 block of diamond, 2 cyan. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I kind of messed up that row, but I'm going to take for granted that that's right anyway. Now, moving on to the back, so same pattern again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan. And then I don't have to count out this last row because I know that this side is right, the back side is right because the front side is right, and it will be the same situation here. So we've only got to do this once more, so it will be 14 block of diamond. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 2 cyan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan, 2 cyan, there we go, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 2 cyan, and I don't have to do it again, so now I just have to fill this row in with block of diamond, and what we'll end up with, guys, should look a little bit like this. So this is what we want to have. We now have all of the separation for where the diamond blocks start and end, and all we have to do now is we just have to raise up each one of those cyan blocks, and we just want to raise them up until they are connected from the bottom to the top with a layer of cyan wool. This is going to take a while. We've got to do this on each one of the sides, and then guess what? We've got to do it up at the top as well. So after we've actually done it on the sides, that's literally what we're going to be doing next. We're going to be like scoring it out on top, and what we're then going to do, like once we've done like the diamond block pattern on top, we're then going to be adding the 3 additional block of diamond. Well, it's not 3, is it? It's 9 technically, but we're going to be adding the 9 additional block of diamond on top of the pyramid. So we're going to be doing roughly this again, just on a slightly smaller scale. And the reason, I'm sure that you guys might be wondering this, like, why did he decide to do like a 5x5 block of diamond pyramid when a 7x7? Yeah, it's 7x7. It's like 3, 5, 7, I think, and I don't think that it really goes any higher unless you really want it to. The reason that I went for 5 instead of 7 is because there's so much more work involved in the 7-1 than the 5. It's if you imagine how long this takes, like imagine if you have to do another like 7x7, like imagine if you had to do 28 more of these, like just below like what we have now. So 5x5, it's not too bad to do. It'll probably take, I don't know how long this actually takes to make. I think it takes over an hour. It might even be approaching 2 hours because of all of the block of diamond, but it's definitely worth it. But with the 7x7, my god, that would take so long to make. We're just connecting all of the cyan, guys, just in case you've forgotten what we're doing. We're just on the last side now. Everything on this statue really does take quite a while. Like, even the beacon on top, the beacon takes quite a while as well. I think that takes 20 minutes all by itself, so very tedious build. If I were you and I really wasn't too bothered about making this thing, I probably would stop here, because it does get worse. It does get worse, guys. If you really weren't too bothered about making it, I would at the very least make it with more than one person, but this is what you want to have so far. This is the ground floor of the pyramid. That's perfect, guys. Once you've got that taken care of, once you have all of the separation between the blocks on the outside, what we now want to do is a very similar thing on top. So in line with the 2 cyans that connect the top of the blocks to the bottom of the blocks, you want to take those and you want to do the same thing at the very top of the pyramid, and you can just connect everything together. And that's exactly what you want to do. You just want to connect everything together, and I'll show you what I mean a little bit more. I mean, I can't show you any faster, unfortunately, because this does take a while to do, because we've got a very large span of blocks, haven't we? So I'll show you more what I mean, but I'm sure that you guys will understand exactly what you have to do anyway. So we're just connecting all of the blocks on top of each other, exactly how we connected them down below. So you can see that we've kind of like connected that whole row like from front to back, and what we'll then have to do, and we'll have to do this on the sides as well, we now want to do like the individual blocks. We want to connect them to the row that we've made. So essentially it's just going to look like a big giant grid, and that's exactly what we want. We want to just have a nice big giant grid shape on top of our beacon pyramid. And like I keep saying, as I keep reiterating over and over again, this is going to take a long time. I don't want you guys to think that this doesn't take anything but time. It doesn't. This is really just a war of attrition. It's kind of like as far as you want to go. Takes a while. I would take breaks, honestly. I know that I had to when I was building it. I had to take a couple of breaks just because of how long this thing takes. But you can see that this is kind of like the left-hand side done. Now we're going to do a very similar thing. So here's something that you can do. You don't have to do like the 3 or the 9 blocks in the middle of this. Like, for instance, you don't have to connect everything together in a perfect grid. You only have to do the outside part. So you only have to do like the layer of diamond blocks like all the way around the outside of the top of the base of your pyramid, if you guys understand. Do you know why? It's because it doesn't matter what we do to the middle section anyway. The 9 blocks in the very center of the top of the base, it doesn't matter because we're going to be covering that in diamond blocks anyway. So it just doesn't matter. There's no point in us doing it. We could if we wanted to, but there really isn't any point. So we just have to do the outside parts, and I am just like doing all of the rows associated with the outside. It's going to take a little while, but I'm now on the right hand side, and I'll also have to connect the front as well. And then all we'll have to do, like once we do the outer square of it, we'll just have to then do all of the details in each one of the blocks, and then we can move on to the upper part, so like the middle part of the pyramid. So we have the 5x5 square at the base, we have the 3x3 in the middle, and then the top of the pyramid is what I'm calling the beacons. So that's what we have to do, and obviously the 3x3 square doesn't take nearly as long as this one, luckily, because it's, you know, almost half the size. And, you know, this is the hardest part if you want to count it as the hardest part. It's the longest part anyway, getting all of this set up. Everything does get easier once we have the base taken care of. So, we're now just connecting the front part together, or, I mean, it doesn't really matter which side is which to you guys, or to anybody really, as long as it's, like, facing in a direction you want it to, because, I mean, each one of the 4 sides are symmetrical, so if that sentence makes any sense, like, it doesn't really matter where the front and the back and the sides are, as long as it's facing in a way that you want it to. Like, each one of the sides are identical, so it doesn't really matter. So, this is what I was kind of getting at. You don't have to have anything in the 9 middle, like, where the 9 middle diamond blocks are going to go. You don't have to have anything there. What we're now going to do is just add all of the detail to the outer parts, and by all of the detail I simply mean we're just going to add all of the separating parts. So all of the blocks of cyan wool, that's all we're going to be adding. I don't know why I said cyan wool weirdly. I don't know why I almost did it there with separated. I don't know why I separated the word like cyan wool. No clue why I did that. Irritates me. I don't know why that bugs me. It bugs me when people do it on TV as well. It drives me crazy. It happens a lot. I noticed it happens a lot, weirdly enough, with like artists and with like video game adverts and stuff. Like, it'll be Fallout and like Pokemon, and I don't know, it drives me insane. I don't know if that's something that bugs anybody else, whether I'm just a psycho, who knows. Maybe it just bothers. I don't know why it bothers me, but it does. We've just about finished all of the separation between all of the blocks, and we're not going to be filling them in with diamond on recording. We're going to leave that until later. But yeah, there we go. So this is what we want to have, guys. So we now have all of the blocks kind of like all separated out. Oh no, we don't. We have to do the top as well. Damn. I thought that we had all of that done. That's a shame. Oh well, it doesn't matter. It's not too many. I think we've just got to do this 3 more times. So this will be the first. Then, oh wait, maybe not even 3 more times. We might just have to do this. Yeah, I think that we might be good after this. Let's see here. Is this all of them? Yeah, that's all of them, so we can take a bird's eye view and you guys can see what I'm talking about, although I'm sure that you've gathered it by now. So what we want to have should look a little bit like this, guys, and that is kind of like the base of the pyramid. All that's lacking here is the block of diamond that we've just got to actually fill all of the actual proper big diamond blocks in with. That's all we'll have to do later. So once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So you guys can see that at the very center of the top of the pyramid, we have kind of like this square of cyan. Well, we want to take the 4 corners of this square of cyan, so this corner right here and the 3 others, we want to take this very block here, and we want to raise each one of the 4 up by 16. So we want to do rows of 16 on top of each one of the 4 corners. So this block right here, for example, up by 16 with the cyan. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And then to save me actually having to count out all of the other rows, I'm going to take that block of 16, I'm going to drag it all the way over the right hand side here, and I'm just going to connect it down to the equivalent block on this side. So it'll be this corner block. I'm going to drag it, I'm going to connect it all together, and I'm just going to get rid of the rough ends. So that's exactly what we did down below, and what we also have to do is now take each one of these back corners and do the same thing. So it really doesn't matter. Get your first row of 16, drag it all the way over to the right hand side until it kind of connects down to where you want it, connect it down, and then get rid of any blocks that you might have placed accidentally, or it might connect together perfectly like that. And you just want to connect everything together, and it'll just look like a nice big giant rectangular shape. Or is it a square shape? I think it's a square. It's a square. Lovely. So it'll look like a nice big giant square shape. So we're just doing this. We're connecting everything together, and what we'll also have to do is we'll have to connect together the bottom blocks together as well. Like we'll have to take each one of the first blocks in our rows of 16 that we've raised up, and we'll just have to connect them together in a square pattern. So there we go, guys. That is the base shape. Like that's all of them raised up from the corners, connected together. What we now want to do, like I said, is just connect each one of the base blocks together as well. So go all the way around the base of the beacon pyramid, go all the way around the base of the middle section of it, connect them all together. Do you guys know what's going to be coming after this? I think that you might. So the next bit that's going to be coming after this, once we have connected each one of these base blocks together, we're going to have to add in all of the separations to the blocks of diamond. But it's easier this time because we don't have to do any counting. All of our work has already been done for us, and you guys will see why in just a second. So once all of these are connected together, we then just want to add all of these separating rows of cyan that make up each one of the individual rows of diamond blocks. So now that we've connected them together at the bottom, now that we have a big giant square, that's a rectangle. It's a square. Who cares? Who cares what shape it is? It's the right shape. So once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. We now want to add these separating rows of cyan. We already know where these are going. We know this because we already did the tops of the diamond blocks, and they're just in line with these rows of cyan that we place at the tops of the blocks. It's as easy as that. So we just have to go all the way around each one of the 4 sides, and we just have to add these in the exact same position as we did on the tops of the diamond blocks. It all goes together. So like I said, once the first layer of the pyramid is in, which it is, because we finished that a little while ago, once the first layer is in, everything else gets easier, and we've just got 2 more sides to do. And once we've done the actual sides here, once we've done the sides of this, we're going to have to do the top. We're going to have to, exactly what we did to the top of the 5x5 part of the pyramid, we're going to have to do the exact same thing to this as well, unfortunately. But, you know, it's what we have to do. We're moving on to the final side here, and once this is done, like I said, we'll be moving on to the top, and things won't be so bad. So we haven't even done the hard part yet, unfortunately. The hard part of this is going to be the diamond. I don't know if I've already mentioned that. Adding all the diamond in is going to be no fun, but there you go. Now we have the sides. You can see how this is shaping up. We now have the base layer. We had the middle layer. All we have to do is add all of the separating rows of cyan at the top here. So we're just going to crisscross these exactly like we did down below, but unfortunately with the layer of 9, it doesn't leave us any space to leave anything out. Down below where we had those 9 middle blocks completely blanked out because we didn't really need to add them because they're going to be covered up. We don't have the same luxury at the top of here. We don't have the same luxury. It's just 1 block in the middle, but we're going to be filling that in with diamond anyway. The reason that we're going to be doing that is because you guys know the beacon. Inside of the beacon is a base of obsidian. The obsidian is only 12 blocks by 12 blocks long. Then there is some glass surrounding it, but that's further away from the obsidian blocks. So if we don't add a base of block of diamond in, and you don't have to add that much diamond into the top of the block, if you don't have any diamond in there whatsoever, it will look like the beacon sat on top of nothing. So we have to do a couple of rows of diamond in the very center. You don't have to completely fill the top center block in if you don't want to, but you have to do at the very least 3 rows of diamond. Really only 2, but I'll talk about that in just a second. Once we've actually... we've only got yeah, we've only got 2 more rows of cyan to add, guys, and then we have our grid shape all the way up at the top of here. Actually, this is a perfect way to talk about... Nah, it's easier to explain once we're actually placing the beacon, but you don't have to completely fill in the top part of this pyramid, like I said. You only have to do like 3 rows, starting from the outside of the very middle block of diamond right at the top here. You only have to do 3 rows of diamond coming inwards. So, what you want to end up with, guys, and this is just the top of the middle section, you just want to end up with something that should look like this, and that is just the grid shape. And in doing that, you've pretty much taken care of all of the diamond parts of your beacon pyramid. Those are all of the diamond parts taken care of. All we have to do now is completely fill this in with block of diamond. Then we move on to the beacon part. So, what you have to do, guys, and what I will have to... Well, I don't have to do it with this one. I'll explain that in a second. What you now have to do to advance on to the next part, you're going to have to completely fill in this pyramid with your block of diamond. That involves doing all of the sides of the base. That involves doing all of the tops of the base as well, so you'll want to fill all of these in. Then you'll want to fill the sides of the middle section of the beacon in. You want to fill these in completely with diamond. You'll also want to completely fill in the tops of the middle section as well. But with this middle block, if you want to let yourselves off a bit, you only really have to come in by like 3. Like starting all the way from the outside, just to give you guys a bit of an idea, you only really have to have something which should look a little bit like that going all the way around the inside if you want to let yourselves off. But at that point, you may as well just fill the entire thing in. So, just to say that one more time, you now want to fill in each one of the exposed faces of your beacon pyramid in with block of diamond. This will take an incredible amount of time. I'm not even playing with you guys, I'm not lying. This is going to take a long time. I would highly recommend a friend, or 2 or 3, or as many as you can get a hold of. What I'm now going to do is I'm going to flip over to another world where I have this, but completely filled in. I'll be back in just a second. You can't move on to the next bit, or you can if you want. I wouldn't recommend moving on to the next bit until this has been completely filled with diamond. Back in a moment. Alright guys, so this is what your beacon pyramid should look like without any beacon on it, and this is just the block of diamond pyramid sat below it. This is what it should look like once it's been completely filled in. This will take a long time. I don't expect you guys to have completed this by the time you hit this part of the video, so I would highly recommend pausing, waiting until you've got that taken care of, and then coming back. Once you have reached this point, however, in which you've completely filled in the base of your pyramid, we can then move on to the next bit. So, the next bit is going to be placing the beacon on top of the center block at the top of the pyramid. So here's what you want to do. You want to come to the very top of your pyramid, and you want to come to the center square of block of diamond. And starting from the edge of that square of block of diamond, which is right here, it's this corner block or any one of the other 3 corners, you want to, on top of that block, place a white stained glass block right there. What you can then do, guys, and allow me a second to just flip over to my beacon plans, perfect. So what you then want to do from this block, guys, you want to come in by 2 diagonals on top of the block. So from this one, we want to come in by 2 diagonals, so that'll be 1 and then 2. On top of the second diagonal, place an obsidian block. Go right of that obsidian with your obsidian by 11, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You then want to take a sideways view and go right 11 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You can then take a sideways view, do a row of obsidian that matches up with that front row, and then connect everything together. So you want to form an obsidian square, like so, right in the center of your diamond block. You then want to add an additional layer of obsidian on top of that obsidian square. So you want to have 2 layers of obsidian on top of each other, like this. So we're just going all the way around, adding an additional layer of obsidian on top of the first. What we then want to do is take out our block of diamond, and we then want to do a block of diamond in each one of the 4 corners of your square of obsidian, and these blocks of diamond, they just want to be 1 block higher than the actual square of obsidian itself. So you can see that we have the 4 blocks of diamond, and they want to just be 1 block higher than the actual top row of obsidian itself. And then on top of each one of those 4 diamond blocks, we want to go up by 10. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And we just want to have that going all the way around. Now, instead of having to count that out 3 additional times, just drag them over. So just form a nice big cube shape, don't bother counting again, and then just connect them down to each one of the other 4 blocks. I'm sure that you guys will know how to do this because we did this already with the base of the pyramid. So we just want to have something which should look like this. And what we also want to do is at the base of the square shape that we just made with the block of diamond, just add 2 layers of diamond block coming up. So just connect them all together at the bottom, as I'm doing now, and then just add an additional layer of block of diamond on top of that. So connect the first 2 rows of the square of block of diamond, the little cube that we have in the center of the beacon, connect the first 2 rows together, just as I'm doing now. So we want to have something which should look like this. Then, once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So inside each one of the 4 corners of your beacon statue, the 4 sides of your beacon statue, I apologize, inside of each one of the 4 sides of your beacon statue, you want to do this. So take the 2 middle blocks of your beacon statue, these 2 right here, go on top of them each by 1 with your white, then starting from this left white block, do 2 up left diagonals. So that's 1, 2, then go up by 1. Then do 2 up right diagonals, that's 1, 2, right by 1. 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, down by 1. Do a bottom left diagonal. This will give you a circular shape with your white wool. That's what you want to have in that position. You may notice that the white wool, the circle of white wool, at the bottom, there's 2 blocks of diamond. At the top, there'll be 3 blocks of diamond. Don't worry, that is by design, it's not because it's off center. Once you've done this the once, do it 3 more times. So we're on the second row, or the second side, where in the 2 middle blocks, we place 2 white wool, starting from the left, 2 up left diagonals, that's 1, 2, up by 1, then 2 up right diagonals, that's 1, 2, right by 1, 2 bottom right diagonals, that's 1, 2, down by 1, then do a bottom left diagonal to connect everything together. 2 sides. Let's move on to the third side. So the third side, 2 middle blocks, up by 1, left hand side, that's 1 and 1, hang on, here we go. That's 1 and 2 up left diagonals, and up by 1, 2 up right diagonals, that's 1 and 2, right by 1, 2 bottom right diagonals, 1 and 2, down by 1, then a bottom left diagonal. That is 3 sides done. Let's move on to the fourth. So we're on the fourth, 2 middle blocks, we go up by 1 each, left hand side, 1, 2 up left diagonals, we go up by 1, 2 upper right diagonals, right by 1, 2 bottom right diagonals, down by 1, bottom left diagonal. Perfect. What we then have to do is just completely fill in each one of the I almost said fur. Each one of the 4 circular shapes with white wool. So we just want to fill each one of these 4 circular shapes in with white wool. What we will then do is fill each one of the 4 sides in with diamonds. So we'll get the white taken care of, and then the diamond will be a little easier to add since we're not going to have to worry about getting the inside of the block. So we're now just filling each one of the 4 sides in with block of diamond, and then we can actually move on to the 5th and final side of the beacon. So the actual beacon itself, what we'll have to put at the top, essentially it's the same thing as we already have, except for whatever reason at the top of the beacon, well, I do know why. At the top of the beacon, we have to do another circle, except this circle is going to be like on center, like where the white circles on the sides of the beacon are off center on the side, not at the top. Different case. We're just going to continue filling in these sides, and then we can do the next bit as I keep parroting over and over again, which is going to be the top of the beacon. Then we have to do the glass case that the beacon actually sits in, and then we will do the beam of light, which comes out at the very top of our beacon pyramid, because this thing wouldn't be the same without a nice big giant beam of light, would it? So once all of those things are taken care of, and we're really not that far off, guys, we've not got that much left to do. Once we've got the beam of light taken care of, that will be the last thing that we have to do. Are those all of the sides filled in? That's right. So we have now filled in each one of the 4 sides of our beacon pyramid. I hit my microphone, I apologize if that made a weird noise. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So we now just want to fill in the top of this, and the way that we want to do this, we want to take any one of the 2 middle blocks, raise them towards us, then do 2 white wool coming towards us, and then we want to do the exact same shape that we've done quite a few times already. So we just want to make that same circular shape, and I'm sure that you guys know how to make this. We just want to make the same circular shape that we made on each one of the 4 sides of our beacon statue once already, or 4 times already. So we just want to have this, and then we just want to fill this circular shape in with white wool, and then we want to fill all the way around it in with block of diamond. And just to repeat that again, I'm sure that you guys will know that it's just the exact same shape again. That's why I didn't explain how to make the white circular shape, because we've done it like 4 times already. I'm sure that you know how to just apply that to the top of your beacon, and it'll end up looking a little something like this, which is perfect. Once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next, guys. So once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do. Come all the way over to that very first block of white glass that you placed. On top of this block of white glass, you want to go up by 15. So on top of this 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now, I'm not entirely sure I got that row right because I took my eyes off the screen for a second, so I'm going to have to count that out again, but you want a row of 15. Not only do you want 1, you want 3 more, and they want to be in the exact same position all the way over your beacon statue. So I'm now coming to this opposite corner because, again, like I said, I'm not sure that that's a row of 16. So on top of this, I'm going to go up by 16, 1 plus 15, 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's definitely 16. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to connect these 2 corners together, and then I'm going to, oh, it was right, and then I'm going to connect these 2 all the way over to the 2 opposite parts on the other side of our beacon. So I'm just going to connect them down. I'm not going to bother counting them out because it'd be unnecessary to count out another couple of rows of 16. So I'm just going to eyeball it, and I'm going to drag up the corners, and I'm just going to turn this into a nice big cube shape, a cube of glass. So it wants to end up looking a lot of something like this. What we then have to do is connect each one of those very first blocks, all of those blocks right down at the bottom. I'm missing my headset. I'm just realizing. Where are you? Hang on. Sorry. I like to listen to music whilst I do this, and I was wondering why everything was silent. So, we're now connecting each one of the first blocks all the way around together so that we turn this into a nice big proper cube shape with our glass, and you guys can see that's exactly what we're doing. We're going all the way around the base of this, we're filling it in with glass. That's the first row, and all we have to do to complete the beacon part of this, other than the beam of light, is we now have to fill in each one of the 5 sides in with regular glass, and it's going to be as easy as that, guys. We just have to fill this in with regular glass. That's all we have to do. And then it's just the beam of light, as I keep mentioning over and over again, and this is going to be a little bit tedious. I'm not sure how long it will take us to fill in each one of these 5 slides, but why don't we talk about something else? So here's something on my mind. Whilst I was busy designing this, I did consider doing a few different kinds of beacon, because I've never made an actual proper beacon in Minecraft because I really don't play much survival at all. I only ever did one survival series, which was relatively short-lived. I think that there were only like, I don't know, like between 20 and like 30 episodes or so, and so I never got to like the beacon stage. Like I never got a what they called, like nether stars or seraph stars or something, whatever they're called, the little shiny item that you can pick up. And I never actually managed to make a beacon statue, or a beacon I should say, let alone a pyramid. But I was thinking about making a couple of different variations of this, where it'd be like blocks of gold, and I think you can use like emerald, and I think you can have like an iron pyramid. I mean, I know that there's probably quite a few more as well that I'm just not aware of, but I think that maybe any metallic block I think you can maybe use any gem block maybe, so that'd be pretty cool. I think it'd be cool if there was like a gold beacon statue and an emerald beacon statue. I obviously wouldn't do tutorials for them, and I probably wouldn't even make them myself because it takes long enough to just make like one. I don't really want to invest like an extra 2 hours, and I think that that's how long it probably takes in total. I don't want to invest an extra 2 hours into making another one, like for like 2 hours at a time, just for the sake of looking at them, not making a tutorial for them. I don't think that it's really, I don't know, I don't think it makes any sense to like make an emerald version of this. As cool as it would look, I'd definitely like to see it. I'd definitely like to see it. It wouldn't even be hard. You just use like, where you used cyan, you would use dark green wool. Where you use diamonds, you would just simply use emerald. That's it. They're the only changes that you'd have to make. And of course, the beacon at the top would be the same. So if you guys wanted to do it, if you didn't want to have a diamond pyramid, because I guess that, you know, since the beacon's made of diamond as well, maybe that's a little bit boring for you guys. I know that I think that'd be cool if I had like a gold one or like an emerald one, but I just went with diamond because it's like, I don't know, it's nice and shiny. Everybody loves diamond, but it would have been equally as cool to make any other kind of variation of this, except maybe if I'm right about this, I don't think it would have been as cool to do like an iron block one, but emerald or gold would definitely look cool. But I'd definitely like to see that if any of you guys end up doing that. I'm sure that I'm not the first one to come up with this idea anyway. I'm sure that I'm not the first one to like make a big giant like in-scale statue version of a beacon. Or maybe I am, who knows, maybe no one's ever wanted to devote the time to it. I also wanted to make like the biggest version possible, which would be like the 7x7, but as I mentioned, whilst I was actually making this, just by adding that one extra layer, you're like doubling the amount of work that you have to do. You're like literally almost doubling the amount of work, and it's so long. I'm sure that if you guys have reached this point in which like you've completely filled in the pyramid, you're like, I never want to do this again. I never want to do this again, unless there were more of you. This is where it comes in handy to have like a few people like on a stream or something. It's like, come on guys, let's knock this out. This won't take us long whatsoever. Why don't we just take care of this? That's where it'd be easy, and that's where it wouldn't take so much time, but it would doing it myself, like a 7x7, then a 5x5, then a 3x3, and then the beacon, and then the beam of light and everything. The beam of light's going to take a little while to make as well. It's so deterring. It's unbelievable. You know what? This thing might not even take like 2 hours to fill in. I might be being a little dramatic with that, but it definitely, I'm looking at the recording time now, and I bet that it at least takes an hour and a half, I would guess. Probably at the very least an hour and a half. So we're now just filling in the top part of the beacon. We've completely filled in the glass casing of it, and that is what you want to have, guys. That is the beacon sat at the very top of the pyramid, right in the center. Once you've reached this point right here, this is what you want to do next. So take out your white wool, come all the way up to the top of your beacon. So you guys can see where we have this, like the white of the beacon, like at the top, like the circular shape that we've made. We'll make that very same circular shape in the same position, just on top of the glass. So just like do that very same circular shape, you can see that we have it there, and just do like that at the very top of the glass. What we then want to do is we want to raise up this circular shape, and we want to raise it up really as far as you want to take it up into the air. Like it might be 100 blocks, it might be 200 blocks, it might be as far as it can actually go. But we're now going to take each one of these individual white wool blocks that we have right at the top of the beacon that we've just placed to form our circular shape. We're going to take each one of these blocks and we're going to raise them up until we are satisfied, until they go as high up as we want them. Now that number might be different for you, that number's different for me. I'm probably dragging it up at least, I would say at the very least, like, I don't know, like 60, maybe more. I'm bad at estimating like rows and stuff, but I'm sure that that's like at the very least like 50 or 60 blocks. You don't have to go that high, especially if you're on console, just because of like the render distance. Like if you're on foot, for instance, like you'll never see the top of this thing unless you like elevate yourself anyway. So just drag each one of the white walls as high up as it can possibly go, or as high up until you have it where you want. So like 100 blocks, 200 blocks. And then once you've done the circle of white wool, I'll show you how you can like put the finishing touches on it, because it's not going to be exactly 100% done until until we add the next little bit. So I'll spoil it. It's not really a spoiler, it's a tutorial. But what we're then going to do, once we have our circle of white wool completed, we're going to take each one of the 4 corners of the circle. I know the circle has corners. It's not really a circle. But we're going to take each one of the 4 corners of the circle, and we're just going to extend them out like diagonally from them. We're going to do 4 rows of white glass block coming up from the very corner blocks. So you guys will see what I'm talking about, and it'll look like kind of cool. Like as it goes, like the white circular shape that we're using for the beam of light, like at the base, at the top of the beacon, it does look good, but it could look better. And that's what we're doing. We're simply making it look better. So we're going to add the white wool, and this takes a really long time. I hate it when all I have to talk about is like, so we're just going to keep raising it up and raising it up and raising it up. When there's nothing else to mention, when there's nothing really to explain, I like that part of the tutorial the least. That's pretty much all I want to say. Like, we only have 2 more to do, so there's no real point in like delving into like a weird random off topic or anything. But you know what? Let's talk about. So I've been having some ideas for some alternate statues recently. I got one idea. Like, I made Notch vs Herobrine, which is a very cool statue. I'll probably include that in the card system. But I want to do a couple of others. Like, I want to like Steve sleeping in a bed with like a wolf at the base of the bed, kind of like just sleeping at his feet. I want to like Steve riding a zombie. I think that would be pretty funny. Like Steve like getting piggybacked by a zombie. I think that'd actually be kind of interesting. Steve riding a horse is a popular one. You guys want to see Steve riding a horse? That's going to be a long tutorial. That'll probably take a while to make. Oh, and by the way, once you've reached this point right here, once you have done each one of or all of the rows of white that you have to do that are associated with that circle, the outer parts, you then want to, coming up from each one of the 4 corners from that circular shape, with white glass, just do equal rows of white glass on top of each one of the 4 corners. So, I've been thinking a lot about alternate statues recently, like I said, and it's not only limited to, like, I don't know, like Steve doing things and, like, Notch and Herobrine and stuff like, I mean, this is kind of like what I'd call an alternate statue. I think that this is kind of cool, like the huge, big, giant beacon pyramid. I've not seen that. You know what? I don't think I've actually seen anybody else do this. I know that a lot of people have done things that I've done before. Like, people have done, like, the Steve statue. People have done, like, a Herobrine statue. People have done loads of those things. But I don't think I've ever seen anybody do, like, a beacon statue pyramid or anything, or a beacon pyramid. Yeah, beacon pyramid statue sometimes. Phrasing, you guys know how it is. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do this before. Huh. Cool. Anyway, we've just about finished this. We've just about finished the beam of light, which is where I kind of like cut off abruptly. We've just about... How far? We don't have to go that far. Perfect. So, how will that look once it's done? It should look a little bit like this. So if you wanted to, you could make that row of white even thicker. You could add more glass to it. I wouldn't add more white wool, but you could definitely add more glass. But just to show you guys, once you've done that, that is the beacon statue 100% fully complete. And like I said, unless you look upwards, like, you can't really see the end of the beacon, the glow, but you can keep going as high and as high and as high as you want. It depends how important that is to you, but there you go, guys. That is the beacon statue, the beacon pyramid, 100% fully complete. Why don't we take off the hood? Why don't we take off the UI? And why don't we circle this thing a little bit? It's a little redundant circling it because each one of the 4 sides are identical, but you guys get the idea anyway. So once you've reached this point right here, this is the beacon pyramid 100% fully completed. Hopefully you guys like this. Hopefully you've managed to make it. I know how long it takes to make. I know how frustrating it is to make. I've made 2 of these. Well, technically 3 of them. I've made 3 of these in total. I know how irritating they are to make. Hopefully you guys did appreciate it though, and if you did manage to make it, if you did manage to make it, and if you did like it, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, a favorite, a share, anything you'd feel like doing to help me out, guys. I would always just vastly appreciate it. I really, really do. There's nothing more I love than when you guys like my things. Like, favorite, share if you wouldn't mind. Feel free to comment down below. What other sorts of statues and what other sorts of things like this do you want to see me make in the future, guys? You'll have to let me know, otherwise I won't know. Feel free to check out the description where I'll be leaving all of my tutorial playlists, but really realistic, check out the card system. If you like this, check out the card system. I'll be leaving loads of other cool things in there that I'm sure that you guys will love. So, thank you very much for watching, guys. Like, favorite, share, please. I put a lot of effort into this, a load of time. It really does hurt the voice as well. I'm not sure if you can tell. Thank you very much for watching. Like, favorite, share, and I'll see you guys in the next video.